The world turned its back over. I'm a criminal. We got soldiers, he got soldiers, but I got different ones. Ain't no way out, I'll tell you what. Don't pray for nothing, let's see the curse. We can't forgive us for being remain in the trenches. Trust in the Lord, but please forgive me for the times that I did and bring and give me. Have no respect to your bring on cities, look. Trying to pick up with a blind friend. Hey, they said they'll be in their mansions. I'm just grinding for my time share. The devils and clan friends, they hunt you like man pell. But ain't no getting out the game like you want it. Or if you take that office or nothing, they try to deal death to a priest. You won't make it out in one piece. So you can stand. Just make sure you got the heart. Say your name 3 times and it's death to his heart. So how you feel about this truth by the show? Say that like you think, little nigga. I should walk out. Even your own people on this show. And the Lord said they hate you for my name. So you better keep it on. Ain't no more guessing. Ain't no more question. Make sure my election till I'm tucked away like George Jetson. Murder for capital knives. Murder at the Capitol. The world's in amazement. We like fuck a raising. I pity those watching life as it goes by. Be giving mercy in this life. I don't know why. It's pump smoke, never try to. The day that all my brother be the day that's sold out on the phone. I'm salute, my nigga. Salute, my nigga. Like, how you stay focused? I told him I'm motivated because of you, my nigga. Brotherhoods and weapons, still got weapons on the scene. And I never do my niggas like Bishop did Raheem. Never mind in all beliefs. They under anesthesia. Shorty said she even said she wanna let that love go. So I let that love grow. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a blood hole. So, how you feel about this truth by the show? You saying it like you think, you nigga. I should want even your own people go this home. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. That. I ain't at the die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. Fell for the lies of the devil. Then we got high was the devil. Looking to the eyes of the devil. I ain't at the die to meet the devil. I remember I was only 13 when I met the demon. Gave me a deuce and a bundle of cocaine. Told me to sell to my people, make sure you keep them cleaning. If any try to show you, make sure that you leave them leaking. He said, I'm gonna hold you down when problems pop up. How you got me moving this dope? Want me in lockup? He said, don't you want the best vertical with the top up? Yeah. Stop, bitch, you need in that kitchen. Let it rock up. Bitches love the dope boy, especially when it's pop up. I know you know Ron. You the plug from by the block up? I'll tell you a little secret. Make sure that you keep your mouth shut. Ron got a Lexus, crib in Philly and Texas. Tripping up Bahamas, just got a whip for his mama. He fucking up in commas, be honest, he seeing decent though. I hear you, but I just seen Ron about a week ago. Fat, he ain't looking too good. His knees kinda slow. I asked him why the struggle. He got stuck up for his bundle, but them 6-hour tips in his legs what made him crumble. He got a house, is living good. He said the bags took it all. He's right back in the hood. I see you try to play me. You gave us crack in the 80s. Made us support our babies and make a whole lot of ladies. I know you got me crazy, but Satan must be crazy. It's gonna take more than cars when to amaze me. I seen niggas shoot for the stars, but being lazy. Never get their head at the clouds, so you don't face me. I guarantee that you wouldn't really remember I said it. No, you could get it. What you saying? I can't win. No, devil, nice try. So until we meet again, I ain't at the die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. Then we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't at the die to meet the devil. I ain't religious or superstitious. But we been getting fucked and put to the side like the mistress. Police patrolling why? Because prison became a business. They murder one of us and they start talking about forgiveness. We think that it's alright because we got public assistance. If this ain't hell, dog, what is this? Where was all lives mattered when they killed Osama? There was no peace talk like the Dalai Lama. Bush dropped a bomb saying he would bring the drama. They got justice, man, they even caught the Boston bomber. But when we ride, they send the military in armor. When we fight oppression, then our people die of martyr. You reap what you sow, some people call it karma. When Christ return, y'all gon' get this harvest like the farmer. Don't tell me don't bring up the past no more. They still trying to settle the score with a side of Shakur. I changed my life and I'm just trying to live life right. But at night I look behind me and see flashing lights, patting me down. Got nothing that's poking me right. I don't smoke or push pills, I gave up my fight. So Mr. Officer, why you wanna take my life? And Your Honor, why you gave our homeboys life? I've been wondering why you shot our homeboy twice. Pussy with a gun screaming out that he got a knife. He came from Habibi spot, it was chicken and rice. Shit's tripe, I'm just giving visuals like Skype. Ash Trayvon, Mike Brown, Lakai Gurley, Eric Garner, Sean Bell, Philando, Olden, Sterling, Jaquan McDonald. The white man is so devilish. Ask Hammurabi, he'll tell you who the devil is. The white man is so devilish. Ask Hammurabi, he'll tell you who the devil is. I ain't have to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. And we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't have to die to meet the devil. I ain't have to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. And we seen the rise of the devil. I pray for the demise of the devil. Lord knows I despise every devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. He said, I pray you die every devil.
All right, let's clap it up. We're going to get started. All right, Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Barakatah. That means may Yahweh bless you in the name of who the world calls Christ. And Shalom to the sisters. Yahweh Shemar Lathan Bashim Yahushai. That means in the Hebrew, may the Most High watch over you, sisters, in the name of who the world calls Christ. I'm Priest and Officer Shari One, under Commanding General YAHANNA, and we are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. All right, tonight is Friday night, Lashawan Kodash class. All right. Lashawan Kodash. All right, tonight is Lashawan Kodash class. Lashawan Kodash is Hebrew. All right, this class is for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, who are the Israelites the Bible speaks of. We are teaching Hebrew to our people. All right, we're teaching the Lashawan Kodash to our people. Teaching it to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. A people who have lost their identity. A people who go around calling themselves Black, African American, Jamaican, Haitian, Trinidadian, Dominican, Cuban, Puerto Rican, Haitian, all these different bywords that we attribute to God's children. These are bywords that are placed on us because we disobeyed the Most High. And because we disobeyed the Most High, we picked up bastard languages like English, French, Spanish, all these different languages that were not our own. You go back about 500 years ago, we are a people that were brought over to the Americas on slavery, on slave ships. And these are curses that you read that would fall upon the children of God if they disobeyed their power. And so what we're doing in the I.S.U.P.K every Friday, we are teaching Lashawan Kwadash to our people. Lashawan Kwadash is the language that Adam spoke. You read about Adam right from the book of Genesis chapter 2. That's a language that he spoke and that he learned and that he communicated with the Most High with. He learned that language from the stars. And Adam passed that on to his sons and his sons and his sons after that, going down to Noah, going down to Shem, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And that is a language of our people. It's so important for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to build the kingdom of heaven. Christ told us that this kingdom doesn't come from observation, but by putting our brick in. And what he meant by that was we have to put in some work. We actually have to get our hands wet. We got to put boots on the ground. We got to study to show ourselves approved. If you go to one of my favorite scriptures, let's pull that up really quick. And when I say scriptures, we're reading out of the 1611 King James Version Bible, which is the most accurate English translation that we have today, which is why we read out of it. And we're going to go to the book of Judges. You go to the book of Judges, chapter 5 and verse 11. It says, they that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord. There shall they, who is they? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. There shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord. Meaning, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we have to build this kingdom, just like Christ said. It doesn't come by just watching, just by observation, but we actually have to do something in order to build Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans up back to the power that was meant for them, back to the rulership that was meant for them. King Solomon said, I see princes as servants, and I see servants riding on horses. They're in a high place because he was sad that he was seeing people who weren't meant for rulership. The European man, the Asian man, the African man, the Ishmaelite, the East Indian man. These people weren't meant to be ruling the planet Earth. That was meant for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. A people who would obey the Most High and instill his laws, statutes, and commandments on this earth. So we need to do, what we need to do as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is we need to rehearse righteous acts. Meaning we need to practice. We need to practice not eating pork. We need to practice not eating shrimp, crab, and lobster. We need to practice loving Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We need to practice our language, our customs, our heritage, our culture. We got to come back to those things. We need to practice our language. We need to rehearse the righteous acts. We need to learn our language. I always thought growing up seeing Asians or seeing East Indians speak their own language and have their own culture and have their own God. I always thought that was so empowering growing up. Well, imagine if Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans had their own language. They had their own God. They had their own power. They had their own culture. They had their own land, their own government, governing bodies, their own dollar bill. This is what Christ and the Most High wants for us. And so we got to come back to our roots. We got to come back to our language. In the I.S.U.P.K, we're teaching this class every Friday night. Check out the links in the class if you're signed in on YouTube. Make sure you sign in if you want to join the school. Brothers in the school will take your attendance. If you want to be a part of this school, make sure you sign in and make sure you sign out before the end of the class. All right. The Lashawan Kodash, the Hebrew, is very important for our people. All right. And that's what we're getting into today. So for Canada, for No Cowards Canada, this YouTube channel, we haven't gone over the basics in a while. So tonight we're going to go over a lot of the basics, a lot of the fundamentals to our language. We should have some new people tuned in today. All right. We're going to go over the basics. And so just make sure you take notes. All right. The scriptures say to rehearse righteous acts. You want to practice. Practice, practice, practice. You're learning a new language. You want to practice. All right. You want to take notes. You want to rehearse the righteous acts. And that's how you're going to learn your language. All right. So that's how you're going to learn your language. So grab a notepad, grab a pen. We're going to get into some basics for today. And then we'll build off that as we go through the classes every Friday. All right. Okay, so we're learning Lashawan Kodash. All right, this is a language for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, this is how you would spell it. This is how it would look in the Hebrew. In the Hebrew, we read right to left. Okay, everything is right to left. It's not like English. It's not like French, where they do everything left to right. This is how you know the spirit of this kingdom. In Revelations, it calls it, this is Babylon the Great. What does Babylon mean? Babylon means confusion. It's a place of confusion. Everything they do is backwards to the Most High. Hebrew, we read right to left. All right? That is how we're supposed to read, right to left. All right? This kingdom, they do everything backwards. So as we read right to left, we're reading it in the Hebrew. This is Lashawan Kodash. Lashawan means holy. Oh, Salakia. Lashawan means language. Or tongue. And Kodash means holy. All right. When you read in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6, it says, you are a holy people. Holy meaning Kodash. Kodash. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are Kodash. We are a holy people. We are separate, set apart. We are different from everybody on the face of the earth. And so is our language. All right. Lashawan means tongue. All right. The Lashawan Kodash is the holy tongue. That's the language of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right. And this is how it would look in the Hebrew. Lashawan Kodash. Now, if you got any questions during the class, just type it in the chat. I'll do my best to get the questions answered for you. All right, if I'm moving too fast, just let me know. If you got a question, type it in, and I'll do my best to get the answer for you. All right, so getting into the topic for today. Again, today is an introduction to Hebrew. All right, we're going to go over a lot of the basics. It's tradition that we go over the alphabet at the start of the class, every single class. All right, just like you're learning English, you teach your kids ABC. And after you teach them the alphabet, you learn to pronounce it. And then once you learn to pronounce the alphabet, you can begin to read. All right. So we're going to go over the alphabet. All right. We're going to go over the Lashuan Kodash alphabet. All right. So let's get right into that. All right. So what we're doing, we're just going over the basics. And we're going to learn the alphabet. So now, one other thing to add, all right, is on top of learning the Lashuan Kodash, we also teach the Assyrian Hebrew. Okay, the Assyrian Hebrew is what you would call today your modern day Hebrew. Okay, this is what everybody would call Hebrew today. All right, it's the Assyrian Hebrew. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because we are a hard-headed people, there have been many times that we disobeyed the Most High. We've been through Greek captivities, the Roman captivity, the Persian captivity, the Assyrian captivity, the Babylonian captivity. These were curses that would fall upon the children of Israel for disobeying their God. So now there was a time where we picked up a different dialect of Hebrew. All right, that was during the Assyrian captivity. The reason that's important is because a lot of our manuscripts today are written in the Assyrian. All right, this is the Assyrian Hebrew that I have on this line here. And so if you want to be able to read a lot of our manuscripts and our scrolls, you got to learn the Assyrian Hebrew. Now, each of these characters in the Assyrian, they translate into the Lashuan Kodash. All right. All these characters in the Assyrian come from the Lashawan Kodash. The Lashawan Kodash is the original language. It's the oldest language known on earth. It's the most ancient language, and it's the language of our ancestors. And this Assyrian Hebrew comes from the Lashawan Kodash. So all of the characters translate. Now, I highly advise, if you're tuning in for the first time, take these notes down in your notebook, okay? This is your alphabet. This is the beginning of learning Hebrew. You want to learn your alphabet first, all right? Now, what I have on the bottom here is the pronunciation of each of these characters, all right? The pronunciation is the same, all right, for both the Assyrian and the Lashawan Kodash. So we're doing everything right to left, okay? We have a ah. This is the first character in the Hebrew. All right, again, if you have any questions, just type it in the chat. All right. So what we have here at the top, we have the Lashawan Kodash. These are the first 5 characters in the Lashawan Kodash alphabet. The first character, we have an alap. All right. That's the name of it. It's called an alap. It's actually a picture of an ox head. All right. And each of these characters that you see in the Lashawan Kodash, each of them represent an image. All right. We don't call these letters like we would in the English. We call them characters. All right? Characters meaning an image. These are actually images of something. And each character in the Lashon Kodash represents something that the Hebrews or the Israelites would have seen. So this character right here is a picture of an ox head. All right? It's called an alap. And we pronounce it ah. All right? We pronounce it ah. The next character we have is a bayath. All right? A bayath. And a bayath is a picture of a tent or a house. All right? Imagine today in 2022, you looking at a blueprint. Okay? This is what the Israelites were doing when they had this character. They were imagining a blueprint of a house. And this is where they got this character from. All right? A bayath actually means house. All right? All right, so we have a lop. All right, a lop is the picture of an ox or a cow's head. Then you have a bayath. Bayath means house in English. All right, this is the image of a house. The next character is a gamal. All right, in the English we would say a camel's neck. All right, it's called a gamal. Next we have the lot. The lot means door. All right, means door in English. And the last one we have up here is a hada. All right, hada means to put forth your hand. All right, it's like a hada. The best way to explain it today in 2022 would be like, imagine a magician, a magician saying like, what do magicians say? What do they say? What do they say? Like tada or something? They're saying like tada, and they're putting forth their hand and they're showcasing something. All right, that's what a hada is. All right, it means to put forth your hand. Right, to behold something. Right. So as I said, each of these characters represent something. Okay. And if you were to look at some manuscripts today, you would most likely see these characters. Okay. This is the Assyrian, and they each represent the same thing. And they're all pronounced the same. All right. So we have an Abagadaha. All right. Abagadaha. Those are the first 5 characters of the Hebrew. Okay. So we saw the first 5 characters in the Hebrew. All right. The first 2 characters we saw was a ah and a ba. All right. Um, I'll give you an example on how we form words in the Hebrew. All right. The alap and the bayath. This is the first word. All right. This is the first word in the Hebrew. All right. Abba. All right. The very first word that we have that we make in the Hebrew language is you put an alap and a bayath together. All right. Now I told you the alap, right, is the image of a cow's head or an ox. All right. And that alap, all right, the alap, it represents an ox. It represents something strong. It represents the first. All right. The second character in the Hebrew language, the Lashon Kodash, is a bayath. All right. And a bayath is the image of a house. All right. Or a dwelling place. Now, as you go deeper and you start to study the Hebrew more, you start to learn your culture better. You'll see our language is very concrete. All right. It's a very concrete language. And each word and each image represents something and has meaning, right? So this first word, Abba, all right, the first Hebrew word that we have, what the Israelites imagined when they were saying this word, right? They were literally saying, strength of the house. All right. They were saying Abba, Father, is the strength of the house. Right? In 2022, we just say dad or we just say father. Well, thousands of years ago, 6,000 years ago, our ancestors were saying Abba. All right? And Abba meant the strength of the house. When you think of Christ, Christ said, how do you enter a strong man's house? You must first bind the strong man. All right? Well, if you bind the strong man, what does that mean? To bind something is to shackle, is to chain, is to imprison. If you imprison or bind or shackle the strong man, the strength of your house, then you can enter into a house and destroy it. Right? Because your father is the strength of the house. Right? When you think of the strength of your house, you think of protection. You think of guidance. All right? Somebody who's in authority. And that's what the Israelites were thinking when they were saying Abba. Right? Which again, why today in 2022, this kingdom that we live in, right, is so backwards. Babylon, it's a place of confusion where everything is against the Most High, where they want to put women above men, where they want to make women as gods, like the serpent right from the beginning, who told Eve, you can be like God, you can be a power, you can have authority over your man. This is something that goes against the Most High. All right. So that's just the introduction into our language. All right. And into how words are formed in the Hebrew. All right. The Abba, all right. The Alap and the Bayat together. Abba is the strength of the house. That means father. Give you a minute to write it down. Make sure you write this down in your notebooks. All right. These are good notes to take down. I'm going to get through the whole alphabet. I'll show you the whole alphabet, how to pronounce each word. All right. And then we'll move on. Okay? This class is from 7 till 9 p.m. All right. So depending on the time, we'll see what topics we get into. Okay, so let's get through the alphabet. All right. How should I do this? What I'll do is I'll put the alphabet of the Lashwan Kodash up top, and then I'll put the Assyrian below. All right, that way you can see each character. Or what we'll do, matter of fact, I'll continue how I left off. So we left off with a Hada. So we have Abagada Ha, then we have a Wa. Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La. All right. These are some of the next characters in the Hebrew. All right. We did Abagada Ha. All right. These are the next characters in the Lashwan Kodash alphabet. All right. I'll put the Assyrian beneath it. So we have a Wa, Abagada Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La. All right. So we have the Lashawan Kodash on the top, and we have the Assyrian beneath it. All right. And I'll put the pronunciation. We have a Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, and Allah. All right. So again, you got any questions? Put them in the chat. All right. I see we got about 4 or 5 viewers. Make sure you hit the sign-in link, and make sure you sign out before the class is done. And please like, share, and subscribe. All right, to I.S.U.P.K Canada, No Cowards Canada. All right, like our page, share our page, get this truth out there. All right, so Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans can learn their language. All right, so we can be empowered and build each other up, build this kingdom up, build this nation up, learn to love our people. All right, like, share, subscribe. So keep on. So we're gonna keep on going with the alphabet. All right, we left off with a hada. Then we have a wa, za, ka. Now, when you pronounce this character, the ka, it's a CHAA sound. All right. These pronunciations. This is what I have down on the bottom. All right. This is how you would pronounce these words. When you see the CHAA, almost think of like you're about to spit, or you're gonna hork up some spit. It's a ka, ka. All right, it's a little different from the KA. KA is just a ka. The CH is a ka. All right. Not sure if you can hear the difference, but it's almost like you want to spit something up. All right. It's a ka, ka. All right. Hopefully the audio is well so you can all hear what I'm saying. So that's how you pronounce this character. All right. You have a ka. This ka is an image of a wall. Then you have a ta. The ta is an image of a basket. And then you have a ya, ka, and a la. All right. This is how you pronounce each of these characters. All right. The pronunciation is very important, because once you learn the pronunciation of each of these characters, you'll be able to read Hebrew. All right, I'll give you guys an example. All right, this is Genesis 29. There's Genesis 29 in the Hebrew. All right, in the Lashon Kodash. This pronunciation is very important if you want to be able to read our scrolls. All right. You want to be able to read our scrolls. I believe, Salaki, if I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure the Dead Sea Scrolls has Lashon Kodash on it. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. I'll have to double check and get that answer for you. But we absolutely have different artifacts. I think if you look at like the Lost Lunas Stone, you'll see the 10 Commandments written in the Lashon Kodash. These are artifacts found in Ohio, different places in the Americas. All right, that the tribe of Gad and the Seminole Indians are Native American Indians, the Gadites. All right, Gadites and Reuben. These are some artifacts that they had. Issachar, the tribe of Issachar, who we know as the Mexicans today. All right. These artifacts, we have some old artifacts written in the Lashon Kodash. All right. And so you want to be able to read those things. This is the language of your ancestors. All right. Question I always had in the world before I was in the I.S.U.P.K. Was, who are my ancestors? Who do I descend from? What God did they worship? What were they doing in Western Africa? These are questions I had before the truth, before I joined the Israelite School of EPK. And so it's a beautiful thing to finally know the truth of our people, the truth of our history and our ancestors, to know that we had a language, all right? To know that we have a rich history, to know that we're above just being black and niggers and spicks and wetbacks, all right? So the pronunciation is important, all right? Again, we're going right to left. This is a wa, za, ka, ta, ya, ka, and a la, all right? And you see today, even in the English language, every language comes from the Lashawan Kodash, right? You have a za, which in the English you would say Z or Z, depending on if you're in Canada or America or over in Europe, British or whatever it may be. These characters, we have these in the English, right? And it's a za, all right? Or you see a la, right? A la, a lamad. That comes from our language. All these languages on earth come from the Hebrew, right? The scriptures say that we are a wise and understanding people. These other nations would look at us as a wise and understanding people because we are a nation that is above every other nation, right? You see it today in the way we dance and the music we make, all the things we do. Every other nation wants to be like us because we are a people that have great influence on everybody else. All right, they get their language right from the Lashawan Kodash, right from the Hebrew. So what I'll do for anybody tuning in, all right, I'll continue on with the alphabet, but if you want to pause the video, all right, just take a snapshot of this. This is our alphabet, all right? This is the Lashawan Kodash and the Assyrian. Okay, you can pause the video and take a second look just to take some notes. All right, it's the same thing that I'm writing down up here. All right, so we left off with a lamad. All right, so after Allah, we have a ma. All right, a ma is water. All right, ma, that's where you get masha, right? You have a ma and a sha together, right? Masha, right? Means Moses in the English, right? He was drawn from water. All right. That's what this Ma character is. All right. All right, so we're going on with the alphabet. We got a ma, na, sa, I, pa, to za, and a kwa. All right. Again, we're continuing on with the alphabet. We did abagada ha, wazakata ya, kalama. We're on ma, na, sa, I, pa, to za, kwa. All right. You'll notice when we pronounce each of these characters, all of them end in an ah sound. All right. Ah, ba, ga, da, sa, I, pa. All right. All of them end in an ah sound, except for this one character. All right. There's only one character in our alphabet that doesn't end in ah, and that's this I character. Oh, Slovakia. I is like this in the Assyrian. All right. I is the only character that doesn't end in an ah sound. All right. Ah means ayan. Ayan is an eyeball. All right. That character that you see here, this is the image of somebody's eyeball. Okay. And you pronounce it I. All right. You just like in English, they say I, right? I means your eyeball. All right. They get it from the Lashon Kodash, the Hebrew. All right. That had this character, this image. All right. They had an image of somebody's eye, and it was called an ayan. All right. So go ahead and write this down in your notebook. All right. Again, at the top, we have the Lashon Kodash. All right. Beneath it, we have what we call the Assyrian or modern day Hebrew. All right. It's what those fake Jews, those Ashkenazi Jews, Amalek in the Bible, he's known as Amalek. That's his biblical name. All right. Amalek, he reads and speaks this form of modern day Hebrew. Okay. They use these characters. All right. Which we call the Assyrian Hebrew. All right. Salakia to anybody. If you're having problems seeing the board, just send me a message, and I will forward you some notes. All right, some good notes that you can have. All right. You can see what I have written down in my book. I might be having an issue with the quality of my camera. All right. So I'll look into that to see if I can get that fixed for next class. All right. Um, so just hear me out. I'll try to explain the best I can. And if you have any questions, again, just let me know. You can give me your email address directly. I'll get you information. You got any questions at all, just ask me, and I'll do my best to get you that information. All right. So going on with the alphabet. All right, we have a ma, na, sa, I, pa, to za, and a kwa. All right. And at the bottom, we have the pronunciation of each of the characters. So we got 2 characters left. What I can do from here on out is I'll make everything a little bigger, so hopefully you can see what I'm writing down more clear. All right, so we left off with a kwa. We have a ra, a sha, and a tha. We have 3 more characters in the Lashawan Kodash. Kwa, ra. So we have a ra next. All right, I'll draw that nice and big. All right, that's how that looks in the Lashawan Kodash. We have a ra, a sha, and a tha. All right. How this looks in the Assyrian is like that. A ra. We have a sha and a tha. All right. So those are the last 3 characters in the Hebrew. Okay, so you can get that down for your notes. I'll show you the printed page I have again. All right, so if you need to pause the video, those are all of the characters of the Lashawan Kodash. We also have the Assyrian, both the printed and the handwritten versions of the Assyrian. Okay. So if you need to get those down, you can just pause the video, take a look at that sheet. But again, these are the last characters of the Lashawan Kodash. All right. All right, the next thing we're going to go over. All right, we went over the whole alphabet, both the Assyrian and the Lashwan Kodash. This is probably one of the most important things to learn in the Hebrew. If you really want to begin to read the Hebrew and understand what it is you're reading, all right. Something just as important as having down the alphabet, we're going to go over prepositions and possessive words. All right. Now, we went over the alphabet. All right. Now, knowing the alphabet and knowing how to pronounce each letter or character in the alphabet, right? A, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, ta, ya, and so on, right? Ya, kalamana, sa, I, pa, ta, za, kwa, ra, sha, tha. You want to learn how to pronounce each of the characters. After you learn how to pronounce each of the characters, all right, you want to practice your alphabet over and over. Rehearse the righteous acts, right? Once you learn your alphabet and you learn how to pronounce each character, this is something that's very important. You want to learn prepositions and possessive words. All right. Another word for a preposition is a prefix, right? These are words that come before words, okay? Words that come before a word, right? In the English language, we would call it a prefix, all right? Pre meaning before, all right? I highly advise that you take down these notes, all right? This is your basics to the Hebrew language, okay? We're going to go over these prepositions. These are words that you want to know, you want to learn. All right, I'll make it big. All right, that way hopefully everybody can see what it is I'm writing. So this first character we have, right? Again, this is the first character in the Hebrew. It's an alap, right? We pronounce it ah. Okay. When you see this character before a root word, this is what it means. It means I or I am, right? So for example, we have that word Abba, right? Abba, which means father, right? Abba means father. If you put this character, right, the ah before this word, we now have in the Hebrew Abba. All right. And so you have this root word that means father, and you have this preposition which means I or I am. Okay? Now, when you open up our manuscripts, right, you open up some ancient text, this is what you're going to see when you're reading a sentence. When you're reading Genesis chapter 1 and verse 2, you're going to see Abba, all right? You're going to see these different words. And you might look at some of these words like they're really long. And it might look a little confusing or overwhelming if you don't understand prepositions and possessive words. Okay? This is how Israelites form sentences. Okay? We have root words, Abba, right, which means father. And then we have prepositions. All right? We have prepositions and possessive words. We're going to get into the possessive words after we're done with prepositions, all right? So when you're reading our scrolls, you might see Abba, okay? Don't let that intimidate you or throw you off to think, I've never seen this word before. Just learn your prepositions, okay? Because Abba just means I am father, right? You're giving context to this root word, all right? You're putting a word before a word, a prefix, okay? This is how we form sentences in the Hebrew, all right? So what you want to do, all right, what we're going to do right now is I am going to write out every single preposition that you'll ever see, okay? These are the prepositions you're going to see as you're reading Hebrew. And this is something you want to take down in your notes, all right? You want to learn your alphabet, you want to learn your prepositions, and you want to learn possessive words, okay? That is a very good start and introductory to learning your language. Okay? So anytime you see this character, the alap, before a root word, all right, or before at the beginning of a word, it means I or I am. Okay? Anytime you see a ba character, all right, at the beginning of a word, and notice, right, these are prepositions. This always means before a word, okay, at the beginning of a word. If you see a ba, it means in, right? An example of ba, you have ba, ra, taza. All right? Ra, taza means earth. Ba is the preposition in, right? So we have the root word arataza, it means earth. And then you have the preposition ba, it means in. All right, that word ba'arataza, you're going to read when you're saying the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Ba'arataza, it means in earth, right? If you're familiar with the Lord's Prayer, you'll say in earth as it is in heaven, right? Christ told Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans how to pray, right? How to pray to our Father. When we say the Lord's Prayer, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, right? Thy kingdom come, thy will be done Ba'arataza, in earth. All right? When you see that ba character at the beginning of the word, it means in. All right? And then we have da, right? The da character. You see the da at the beginning of the word, it means do. Okay? You want to have these down in your notebook. All right? Because as we get into other classes, all right, sometimes we get a little advanced. All right? You're going to learn future tense, present tense, past tense. All right? Present tense, right? You're going to learn these different tenses. You're going to learn context, how to form sentences. All right? How to read and write in the Hebrew. All right? We get into all of that for our people because we're building this kingdom. Okay? So this is the beginning. You want to get your alphabet down and you want to get your prepositions, your preposition words down, okay? So make sure you take these notes. We have a, ba, and a da. Again, you see these words before a word. This is what it means. A means I or I am. Ba means in. Da means do. Okay, and I'll give you some examples. All right? I'll give you some examples so hopefully it doesn't confuse you or go over your head. All right? But for now, just take these notes down. Okay? Take these notes down, and then I'll go over a couple examples so you can understand how we form sentences in the Hebrew. All right? So again, just take these notes down. When you see the ha character at the beginning of a word, all right, it means the. When you see a wa character, all right, at the beginning of a word, it means and. When you see a ka character, right? Ka, this is how you pronounce each of these characters. It means as or like. Right? You're going to see this character, right, all over the Bible. Wow, it means and. Right? You'll hear in the I.S.U.P.K, you'll hear brothers say, Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name of the Most High. Wa means and Yahweh Shai, and Christ, Joshua, right? Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, right? You're going to see Wa all over the Bible. You're going to see Ha all over the Bible. It means the, right? You're going to see Ka all over the Bible. You're going to see this character, all right, when you're reading the Hebrew. Ka means as or like, all right? And these characters are always going to be at the beginning of a word. All right. Now, these are the last prepositions. All right. We went over all of them. This is the last of the prepositions that you're going to see as you're reading in the Hebrew. All right. We have a law. Law means two. All right. You see this law character at the beginning of a word. It means two in English. Okay. You see the ma character at the beginning of a word. It means of or from. Okay. You see a sha character at the beginning of a word. It means whom, which, or pertaining to. And you see the tha character. All right. This is the last one. It means this, thou, or thee. All right. Another way you can say this in the English is you. All right. Some of these, because we read in the King James Version Bible, some of it is Old English. You'll see thou and thee. All right. In 2022, that would just mean you. Okay. So those are all of your prepositions that you're going to see. All right. These are very important because as you read the Hebrew, you're going to see these all over the Bible. Okay, I'll give you some examples, all right, that you can write down. Some examples of prepositions that you're going to see. Okay, this is just how the Hebrew works. All right, I'll give you a couple words. You have aparium, par, yum, par, Slovakia. Okay. All right. This is how you would pronounce it, right? What I have over here, aparium. All right. This is the Hebrew that we read right to left. We have an a pa, a ra, a ya, and a ma. Okay. We say aparium. Okay. Which means I am fruitful. Okay. When you look over the prepositions that you just wrote down, right? That a character is at the beginning of a word. All right. It's at the beginning of a word. So when you see this a character, it means I or I am, right? So this word aparium, right? You're going to see this as you're reading the Hebrew, right? You're going to see this long word, right? And you have a preposition here, right? You have a preposition and you have a root word, right? It means I am fruitful. Okay? Okay? So you have, we have this word here, right? It says da tawab. All right, da tawab. Right, I have it written up here. If you're reading it left to right in the English, right, this is how you would pronounce it. You would say da tawab. All right, tawab in the Hebrew, right? Tawab means good. Right? Now if you are writing down and taking notes, right? And you look at your prepositions, you see this da character at the beginning of a word, right? Tawab means good. When you have a da character at the beginning of it, right? That preposition means do. Okay? So now we're starting to form sentences, right? Da tawab means do good. All right? All right, so we got da tawab. Da tawab means do good. I'll do one more just for time's sake. All right, we're getting closer to 9 p.m. And I want to make sure we get through our possessive words, because those are very important and it's very good notes to have. All right, I'll do one more example of a preposition. All right, we have ha malak wath. All right, ha malak wath. Right, how we would spell that out in the Hebrew, we have a hada, right? The ha, we have a ma, ha ma, we have a la, right? You can see the characters here, right? A la, we have a ka, a wa, and a tha, okay? This is how I know how to spell out the word, right? I have a ha, a ma, a la, a ka, a wa, and a tha. All right? Ha, malak, wath. All right? Hamalakwath, right? Hamalakwath, again, this is the pronunciation, right, that we have up here. All right. If you know a little bit about Hebrew, maybe you've seen the word malak before, right? Malak means angel, messenger, king. All right. When we have wath, we have more of a plural word, right? So malakwath, right? We have, how we would best say that in the English, we have a king, right? We have a plural word. So we have a king and we have a dumb, right? Kingdom, malakwath. All right, malakwath is kingdom. Now we have the ha at the beginning of a word in the Hebrew, a preposition, right? We just add in the word the. All right. So ha malakwath, when you're reading that, when you're reading our manuscripts, it just means the kingdom. All right. So those are some examples right, of prepositions, right? If you were taking notes and you wrote the ha down, right, we know the ha character means the. Anytime it's at the beginning of a word, it means the. Okay? All right. Now, the next thing we'll do, right, we just did prepositions. Now we'll do possessive words, right? Possessive words, right? Right? Possessive words, or you could call it a suffix, right? And these are words that are after a word, all right? At the end of a word, all right? We went over prefixes, pre meaning before. Now we're doing possessive, right? These are words that come after, okay? These are very important to have in your notes, all right? Because you're gonna see these words in damn near every sentence that you read in the Hebrew, okay? And as we get into as we get into breaking down different verses in the Hebrew, all right, you're gonna see these possessive words and prepositions all over the Bible, okay? These things are very important to know. So just get it down in your notebook. All right, you get these down in your notebook, and you'll have something to reference for the rest of the time that you're learning Hebrew. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go over all of the possessive words that you'll see that you need to know. All right? That way you can understand what it is you're reading. And you'll be surprised at how fast you can actually pick Hebrew up. All right? If you just put a little effort, right, into learning the alphabet, learn your alphabet, then learn your possessive words and your preposition words. All right? And you'll see that you'll be reading Hebrew no problem. Okay? So these are possessive words. These are words that come after a word. All right? After I give you all the possessive words, just like I did for prepositions, I'll give you a couple examples. All right? So you can see how words are formed. So we have a ya, a ka, a wa, and a ha. All right? All right. Now, these possessive words, right? These possessive words give you context to what it is you're reading in the Hebrew, right? They let you know what or who something belongs to, right? Possessive words meaning like possession, all right? What or who something belongs to, all right? And I'll give some examples after we get down all the different possessive words that we see in the Bible. Okay, so we have a Yah. Yah means my, right? right? Yah. If you were to say, I'll give you a quick example. If I can fit this in here, right? That word we went over, Abba, right? Abba means father, right? Now we have a possessive word. We want to add that to the end of a word, right? We have Abba Yah, right? Yah means my in the Hebrew. We have my father, right? Abba Yah means my father, right? You add this possessive word to the root word, you have a word Abba Yah. Abba Yah, my father. Abba Yah is a Hebrew word. You're going to see that. You're going to read it in the Bible. All right? My father, you're reading the Our Father prayer. No, Slaka, you're going to see Abba Nawa. Abba Nawa means our father. All right? You'll see that preposition as we go down the list. All right? Abba Yah means my father. Right? If I took out the Yah and I put in a Ka, right? Ka. Abba Ka. Abba Ka means your. Right? You're going to read the word Abba Ka in the Bible. All right? In your history book. Abba Ka means your father. Right? If you had Wa at the end, Abba Wa means his father. Right? Abba Ha. Abba Ha is her father. Okay? These are words you're going to read in the Hebrew. So what you want to do is take down these notes, right? You want to take down these different possessive words, all right? Just so you have something to reference. All right? Once you have something to reference, you can always go over your notes, right? When you're reading something, or if somebody's trying to explain something to you, all right? And you want to double check. The scriptures, when you read the Bible, the scriptures say, prove all things, all right? You want to have proof, right? When somebody tells you something, right, you want to be able to give an answer, give a response, right? Right? The scriptures say study so that you're always ready to give a response, right, to people when they ask questions. So when you take these notes down, right, you're practicing, you're rehearsing the righteous acts. You're studying to show yourself approved. All right? You're studying so that you can always give an answer, all right, to the things that you believe in. You take down these notes, you have a reference point. So when somebody tells you something or asks you something, you can be like, no, that's wrong. Why do I know it's wrong? Because this is what I have in my notes. I have this as a reference. All right. I went to class. I studied. I took notes. All right. When somebody's telling you something, you can say that's true or that's a lie. All right. You do that by studying. All right. By proving all things. Take good notes. All right. So these are possessive words. Possessive, again, meaning at the end of a word. All right. It's letting you know what belongs to what. Right. My, your, you, he, his, her. All right. And when you see this character in the Hebrew, right, at the end of the word, this is what it means. All right. Again, if you're in the chat, you can ask questions. I'm trying not to move too fast. All right. I think I've been over this a couple times. This is milk. All right, this is an introduction. So I've been over this a couple of times, so maybe I'm moving a little fast. All right, I'm trying to move at a good pace so that you can understand what it is we're putting down. All right, but if you have questions, just ask your questions. All right. Okay, so we left off with her as a possessive words. Now we have Nawa. We have Kam. And we have Khan. Okay, so these are some more possessive words. All right, we have Nawa. Nawa means hour. All right, so you're going to see a na and a wa at the beginning of the word. Right, like I said, when you're saying the Our Father prayer, you're going to see Abba, Na, Wa. All right, you have the na and the wa, right? You see the na and the wa up here, it means our. Right? We're saying our Father. All right, our Father who art in heaven. All right, that's part of the Lord's Prayer. That's what this possessive words means. Nawa. Nawa means our. Okay, then we have Kam. All right, you're going to see a Ka and a Ma character. When you see those characters, Kam, it means y'all or you all. All right, or all of you. All right. And this, when you see Kam, it means we're speaking to a group of men. Okay, it's MCPL means masculine plural. All right. Y'all, Kam, this is masculine plural. Right? So you're speaking to a group of men. All right. All you men over there. Kam. All right. Abba Kam. All right. You men over there. All right. We're speaking to multiple men. Then you have Khan. All right. You might say Abba Khan. All right. All you females over there. All right. Khan is a plural. It's a plural way of saying all of you female. All right. All of you women. All of you girls. Okay. You're speaking to a group of girls. You're going to read in the scriptures. You're going to see Khan. All right. And that Khan is going to be at the end of a word. It's at the end of the word. This is what it means. All you women. Okay, we got two more. All right, we have two more possessive words. We have a ma and a na. All right. And so when you see ma, it means there. All right. That's how it would translate into English. You see the ma character at the end of a word, it means there. Right. So if we wrote Abba, right, again, Abba means father. Abba Ma. Abba Ma means there, those men, right? Their father. All right. Abba Ma would mean their father. Okay. So those are the last of the possessive words that you're going to see. Right? We have a ma and a na. Ma at the end of the word is masculine plural for there. And then you have a na character. You see a na at the end of a word. All right. It's feminine plural for there, right? Meaning those women. Okay. Those women over there. All right. Okay, so those are all of the possessive words that you're going to see. All right, I'll give you a couple examples like we did for the prefixes, all right, or the prepositions. I'll give you a couple examples of possessive words that you might see, okay? Okay, I'll just go over the word Abba, right? Abba means father. Slovakia. Right? Abba means father. What can we do? We can put Abba Yah. We can do Abba Ka. We can put Abba Wa. All right. And that will give you a good, just a small foundation, all right, on how you see possessive words, all right? So Abba Yah would be my father, all right? Abba Ka would be your father, and Abba Wa would be his father, okay? Those are just some examples of different preposition words that you're going to see, okay? And if I wrote it out in the Hebrew, right, you would see Abba Wa. Abba Wa. Here you have Abba Ka. Here you have Abba Yah. And on the top we have Abba. All right. So again, we're mostly concerned with the Lashawan Kodash. All right, the Lashawan Kodash is the language of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And as I said, we also teach the Assyrian. So I'll give you one example just so you can see it. Right, if we have Abba Wa, all right, Abba Wa in the Assyrian would look like this. It would be an A, a Ba, and a Wa. Okay. So in 2022, let's say you go to the app Blue Letter Bible, right? This is what you're gonna see. You're gonna see this A character, the Ba, and the Wa character. Okay, Abba Wa, and that means his father. Okay, you have Abba, which means father, right? Which is the same down here in the Lashawan Kodash. Abba, it means father, and then you have the Wa character, all right, which is the possessive word meaning his. Okay, so Abba Wa is his father. Okay, so we got 4 minutes left. All right, 4 minutes left for today's class. We went over a lot of the basics, a lot of the introduction into Hebrew. What I'll do before we end the class is I always like to do vocabulary, okay? Because once you have the basics down, the next is you just want to add to your vocabulary, okay? You want to learn different root words. You want to learn different words in Hebrew, okay? And as you learn these different root words, right, you add to your vocabulary, like Abba. Abba would be adding to your vocabulary. That means father. When you learn the word Abba, and then you add in these possessive words and these prepositions, you're going to start to form sentences, okay? You're going to start by learning your alphabet, right? You're going to learn your pronunciation. You're going to learn to say ah, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, and so on. And once you learn your pronunciation, you'll be able to read, right? You're going to see the ah character and the ba character, and you're going to say Abba, right? Abba means father, right? So once you learn how to pronounce these words, your possessive words and your prepositions are very important because that's going to help you form sentences, okay? So the next thing I'd like to do after that is just add to your vocabulary, all right? You add to your vocabulary. These are words that you can practice at home. You got kids, you got a rib, a wife, different friends, brothers and sisters that you meet in the school. All right, these are words that you can just use day to day. All right, you add it to your vocabulary and you practice them. All right, so I'll put up a couple of words on the board. I'll put up a couple of words that you can put in your notebook. And then we will end the class. All right, that was a good class. It's a good 2 hours. It's a good introduction to the Hebrew, what it is we're supposed to be doing as brothers and sisters, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, all right, to return back to our culture. So we got 4 minutes left. Vocabulary, we can just add to our vocabulary. We'll put up a couple words. I know brothers and sisters who are just coming into the truth, right? You want to learn the name of the Most High. All right. The name of the Most High, right? You're going to see this all throughout the scriptures. You have a Yah, a Ha, a Wa, and a Ha. All right. This is the name of the Most High. All right. Yahweh. Yahweh in the Hebrew is a name for the Most High. All right. The name of Christ. We have Yahweh Shai. All right. This is the name of who the world calls Christ. Yahweh Shai. Okay? This is the pronunciation. This is how you would pronounce the word. All right. Yahweh Shai. All right. It means Savior. All right. It's the name of who the world calls Christ. All right. You have Yahweh Shai. You have Yahweh, who is the Lord. What we can do, these are a couple good words. We'll go over some of the ranks in the I.S.U.P.K. All right. I'm not sure if I've gone over that before. We have the generals. We have the captains. We have officers. And we have troopers. All right. These are some words we can learn in the Hebrew. If you're joining the school or you're new to the school, these brothers right here are part of the foundation to this school. All right. Counsel, the teaching, following the traditions of our elders. All right. Of what have been passed down to us from the original school, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. All right. We have generals, captains, and officers. These brothers teach the truth. They teach the truth of the Bible. All right. We understand the Bible. Like it says in the book of Jeremiah, I have Salakia. How's that verse go? Salakia, I'm drawing blanks. It's in the book of Jeremiah where it says, I knew you when you were in your mother's womb. I have ordained thee a prophet. All right. You are a prophet right from your mother's womb. The priests and prophets are back on earth. They are here on earth and they are teaching our people the truth of the Bible. All right. So we have the generals. All right. The Hebrew word for generals is alawat. We have alawat. All right. Alawat. That's how you would pronounce it. Alawat. All right. Alawat is the Hebrew word for generals. Then we have captains. Captains is Saran. All right, Saran. Saran is how you say captain in the Hebrew. All right. Then we have below the captains, the Saran, we have Kwatazayan. All right. Kwatazayan in the Hebrew means officer. All right. You're an officer. Another word for officer means you have an office. All right. You have an office. You have a job. You have a duty. Christians might say you have a ministry, right? To minister means to work, to work for the Most High. All right. We have lots of officers in the school. We work for the Most High. All right. We do the work of the Most High, and we teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth of the Bible. Okay. We're officers. We're Kwatazayan. All right. Kwatazayan in the Hebrew means officer. All right. We have an office. We have a job. We have a duty to our people. All right, let me make a little more space. So we had officers, we got troopers. We also have young brothers, right? We have young men. A trooper in the Hebrew is a ka yayal. All right, ka yayal. All right, a trooper in the school is a brother who has shed himself of the world. All right. A trooper is a brother who is now in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. He is born again, as Christ said. All right, unless a man be born again, he will not inherit the kingdom of heaven. It is a tradition of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to be born again, to overcome something. You see our ancestor Jacob, Yaakov in the Hebrew, or Yaquab in the Hebrew. All right, Yaquab in the Hebrew, Jacob, his name later became Yasharallah. All right, Jacob became Israel, which means Prince of the Power, because Jacob wrestled an angel and overcame something. All right, he went to war and he won that war. All right, and he became Israel. He became a new man. He was born again. All right, that is the tradition of our elders, our ancestors. You become a trooper in the I.S.U.P.K, you have been born again. All right. Christ's disciples said, but how do I enter my mother's womb again? Right? You can't. It's not literal. All right. It's figurative. All right. To be born again is to be different from the way you used to live. All right. You become a kaya y'all, a trooper in the school. You are born again. You no longer sell weed. You no longer do drugs. All right. You no longer dress like a whore. You're no longer a loudmouth black woman. You've put off the things in the world and you become new. All right, brothers in the school who are troopers are kaya y'all. All right, you have overcame something. You have been born again. All right. Then we have young men. Yalad, I believe it's Yalad. Slakia. Yalad. Yalad is young men. Yalad in the Hebrew. All right, is a young man. All right, we have young men and we have young sisters in the school. All right, who are new to the school. They're just coming to class for the first time, and they're learning. They're shedding themselves of the world. All right. You're a young brother in the school. You're a yalad. All right. You're learning to shed yourself of the world, and most importantly, you're learning to follow order. All right. That's something that we've lost in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. We don't want to obey our parents. All right. The scriptures say obey your parents in all things. All right. Because there is an order. The scriptures say the head of Christ is God, the Most High, Yahweh. All right. And the head of man is Christ, Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew. And the head of the woman is the man. And the head of the children is the woman. And those women, those kids are to obey their mother. That woman is to obey her father or obey her husband, her head, the man that is over her. And that man is to obey Christ. And Christ obeys the Most High. And that's the order of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We got to learn to take order. Christ said, "Thou shalt not steal." If you're a Black, Hispanic, or Native American, don't do it. Follow the orders that the Most High gave you. All right? That's how you learn true brotherhood, true sisterhood. That's how we build a nation. All right? We learn to obey the people that are over us. All right? Matter of fact, I'll get that one scripture. All right? Go ahead and take these notes down. I'll get that one scripture and then we'll end the class. All right? Salaki if I'm a little over time. Let me grab that one scripture. I believe it's in the book of Hebrews. We're going to go to... Oops, Salaki. Let me find this really quick. Hebrews 13 and verse 17. All right, jump there really quick with me. All right, and then we'll end the class. Salaki for going over time. All right, this is Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 17. It says, "Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls." All right, there's brothers who are over you. Christ is over the man is over the woman. There are people that are over you. You're a child, obey your parents, obey your mother, obey your father. There's people that are over you. And these people have rule over you to guide you, to teach you how to live. All right, how you are to be. All right, it says, obey them that have the rule over you and submit yourselves. Be in submission, humble down. All right, say kanada one kan in the Hebrew. That means, sir, yes, sir. All right, obey those that have rule over you. It says, for they watch for your souls. All right, there's brothers in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge who are watching over your soul. All right, they're cleaning you up. They're teaching you how to be righteous, how to present yourself before the Most High. All right, it says, for they watch for your souls as they that must give account. All right, there's brothers that are over you that have to give an account to the Most High, all right, for the people that are under them, the people that they're responsible for, all right. You're an officer of Quatazayan in the I.S.U.P.K. You have an office. You are over brothers and sisters, all right. And if you are over brothers and sisters, it's your job to watch over their souls, to make sure they get the kingdom of heaven, all right. It says that they might do it with joy. Don't grieve those people that are over you, all right. It's a joy for brothers who are over you to clean you up and to teach you how to be righteous, all right, to teach you to do the things that you're supposed to do, all right. Don't grieve those people, all right. Let it be a joy for those brothers who are over you to teach you and guide you and protect you, okay. So we got young men in the school. This is the Hebrew word yalad, means young men, all right. I'll put up one more word, all right. We just have akwa, all right, which is a sister in the school, all right. We have akwath, all right, akwath, all right. These are sisters who are in the school. Akwath, all right. That is how you say sister in the Hebrew. All right, and so with that, we're going to end Friday night's Lashawan Kodash class. Let's clap it up. All right, Salakia for going over the time. I'm going to get the sign-out links in the chat. I'm going to give the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. They need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to speak. Salakia. After the 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find it in Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21, and the book of Malachi chapter 3 verses 8 to 10. Ma'ashra means tenth in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests is not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. We just finished the Feast of Unleavened Bread. We have the Feast of First Fruits coming up on June 12th, Sunday, June 12th of 2022 this year. You can count 50 days after the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and that will take you to the Feast of First Fruits. Any brother who wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. With that said, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the brothers and one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, I.M.A.D.I.M. I.M.A.D.I.M. in the Hebrew means stand. All right, face the brothers. If you would be in class, you'd be facing the brothers on the right. Men of Israel, I.M.A.D.I.M., which means stand. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, I.M.A.D.I.M. Shabbat. I.M.A.D.I.M. Barak. Yahawah Shem Yahashai Baraka Thumb. Yad Yamatah, which means hands down. Sar. Sar means turn in the Hebrew, turn and face the sisters. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Bashim Yahushai, Yad Yam Matah, which means hands down. Class dismissed. All right, make sure you hit those sign out links. I'm going to put them up in the chat right now. All right, Shalom, Israel.
Let me get one of those slow motion pictures, bro. You got to see that CC first and second. Come on, they say they want to hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they boss shit. These niggas better move it close. If they make the wrong move it close. See me, they like, keep on shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gonna stop it. They say they want to hear that raw shit. I'm on my way. Coming up on my double. They see me, they like, keep on shopping. I'm on my body. Real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army. Going up like a rocket. Ain't nobody stopping. These niggas garbage. So watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house. Call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. Shorty like that, man. You cut up. Nothing I can handle. 144 with the boot, boy, Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. Why I play the corner like a bum with a banjo.